The truth about bodybuilding part 2. Bodybuilding is not healthy. Yep. I hate to break it to you. And now let me reiterate the fact that I respect the fuck out of bodybuilding, or bodybuilders, I should say. I am one. I did a show, and my entire reason for doing one was because I wanted to see what actually went into it. And what it takes and what it takes out of you. And so that way I can understand the process and then explain to people outside of the fitness industry, outside of the bodybuilding circle. Because what I've observed is that regular dudes are hardworking dudes who are trying to raise families, trying to run businesses, and trying to stay in shape and stay ahead of the game, stay ahead of the curve, as it were, are doing bodybuilding workouts and following bodybuilding methods in order to achieve that. And I got news for you. Bodybuilding training is not the best way to get and stay in shape and be healthy. It's not even a good way to do those things because it's not healthy. It's not. The intention of bodybuilding, the training, the diet, the assistance, all the habits that go into it are designed to make you look superhuman for a 12-hour span of time, months and months and months into the future. And so if you have a goal, if that's not your goal, or if you have other goals besides that, in addition to that, bodybuilding is not a good way to do it. It's not a good way to do it. And because, so let's break down exactly what goes into it, what one has to endure, and the choices one has to make. I mean, I guess I had talked about that on my first one, which is, my first video, Truth About Bodybuilding Part 1, which is that you have to be obsessed, right? But this is like what you actually do to your body in order to achieve this outcome, and why it's not a good idea for most people, and how the people who are doing it and are doing it on a regular basis are most often on drugs. But that's going to be part 3 of this series. Let's just focus on like the actual physical and psychological effects. So I'm in week 7 post show, and my HRV, my heart rate variability, is unbalanced and low. My resting heart rate is 53 average per night, whereas prior to training it was like 40, 42, 43. My blood glucose is elevated. It's like sitting around 110 milligrams per deciliter on average. Like, not good numbers, guys. Not good numbers at all. And I'm 7 weeks out for after my show, and my body's still recovering. And that's a big deal. The lengths that you have to push yourself to in order to be competitive on stages. I mean, like I said, hats off to the people who do this on a regular basis and they find fulfillment in it. That's awesome. You pay a high price. And there's a lot of people who die actually in bodybuilding. And that doesn't really, no one really talks about it. I'm not going to talk about it either because that's not been my experience. So I don't want to pretend to speak to that, but I can speak to what I went through. And, like I said, 7 weeks out, I'm still recovering. But let's rewind, because when I was in it, you just you get dialed in, you get focused. That's awesome. I love, I'm the sort of person that I can, when I decide, I commit to an outcome, I'll do whatever it takes to achieve it and beat myself to a pulp along that path. And so bodybuilding, I was a prime candidate for this endeavor. And so it was good and bad because I could fall in step with it, but bad because it was easy for me to then let other things in my life that also mattered slip. And I would come home, and the people who deserved the best of my energy at the end of the day, my family, my wife and kids, ended up getting the absolute bottom of the barrel fucking dregs of a man who he was so depleted, he couldn't even be irritable. It was just straight up pathetic and apathetic. I had no sex drive. Couldn't even imagine the effort required to have sex in that place. All I wanted to do was sleep. I just wanted to, every day was like Groundhog Day. I would get up, punch the clock, hit my workout, eat my slop, and pass out. And that's what it was. And it was unfair to my family, to be honest. I didn't know this going in. Maybe I would have made a different choice, but I'm glad, can't go down that road. All I can say is that now making an informed decision, I'm going to definitely wait a while to do another show, if ever, because I just want to enjoy the time I have with my kids. And I was not doing that while prepping for this show. I was just so drained, guys. And so that's like a little bit of like psychological, but physiological too. Then also just the raw time time it takes to do the meal prep, my Sundays were gone because I was prepping to such a fine detail, like all these meals. And not to mention, like social engagements at parties and like all that goes out the window. And if it matters to you enough to like pursue to get whatever you're going to get out of competing in this event, great, more power to you. It's just not me. And the reason I'm shooting this video is because I believe that most people aren't really looking for that either, but they've just they've gotten caught up in the hype of like, look at these like specimen human beings and how amazing they look. And like, if I just take whatever I can from their training, then that's the best way for me to look like that as well. And that is not the case. That is not the case. It's unrealistic. It's unsustainable. And the physiological effects, psychological effects, it's a moment in time. And as soon as the weird thing is like, oh, I haven't even fully talked about the psychological effects because there's this whole body dysmorphia thing, and that is real. I've heard about that, but now that I've gone through this whole process and I've seen myself 7% body fat, or 3% according to the InBody, which is not real, 7% according to the DEXA, just super peeled, just veins everywhere. Like, I shame myself now for how I look. It's weird. I'm aware of the insanity with which I'm judging myself, but I still can't help it. And so that's messing with me, and it kind of makes me feel less than and defeated and I'm failing, even though none of those things are true. It's purely a stage shape. No one can sustain it. You can be pretty close, and still have a properly functioning metabolic system and endocrine system and all these things. But you're definitely going to have more fat on you than you did on stage day. Fucking fact. So that kind of messes with you. It definitely messed with me. And so, because, body fat actually does serve a functional purpose. Like hormones are made using fat tissues, fat stores. And so you need that. Of course, unless you're just going to completely supplant your natural hormone production with steroids, which is a decision that a lot of bodybuilders make. Some don't. And the natural bodybuilders also make shit tons of sacrifices. And they probably way more than the ones on gear. Way, way more. Because now you have to work that much harder to make up the difference that the gear would have otherwise provided. So hats off to them as well. And if you got into that and you figured out how to do it and how to kind of live your lifestyle, build your lifestyle around that, and then had kids and then started a family and all that, that's cool. I could see that being a possibility. For me, I did it the opposite. I had all these things in my life first and then tried to insert bodybuilding prep into it, and it did not fit. I'm glad I did it, but it did not fit. And so just wanted to share, like I said, I'm 7 weeks past. So my functional medicine specialist, she said that she has patients females who have competed and have not gotten their cycle back, gone back onto a regular menstrual cycle for 1 year after their show. That is a long time. That is a long time for your body to recover from something. So I just want people to make an informed choice about what goals to set, how best to attain them. That's what this is all about. And if you're trying to live a healthy lifestyle where you're taking care of yourself, you're taking care of business, and you're taking care of a family, there's a better way. That's all I'm saying. There's a better way. And the best way that I've figured out is called the Resilience Method. Check that out. REZHeliance.com, method.com, resilience with a Z. And if you got some value from this video, please like, subscribe, comment. Comments help the algorithm so more people, this message gets out to more people who would otherwise just follow bodybuilding protocols blindly, honestly, without really knowing the truth. Please do that. Send me a message. If you disagree, I'd love to talk with you about it too. Because like I said, I'm just one person who's had one experience. This is what I got. And I want to make sure that, like I said, you guys can all get where you want to go. So let's get there together. We'll talk to you soon.